Hello and welcome back. We've got, surprisingly, another math question. This says, find the equations of the lines through -2, 5, parallel, and perpendicular to 3x plus 2y plus 5 equals 0. Oof. So we got two things to do. We need to get an equation that is parallel to this equation and passes through this coordinate, and another equation that is perpendicular that passes through this coordinate and, well, perpendicular to that equation. So when we see parallel and perpendicular, we've got a question relating to gradient. Now, 3x plus 2y plus 5 equals 0, this is not in gradient intercept form. We can't look at this and go, the gradient is, because we just don't have it. So we can rearrange this. We want to get y equals mx plus c. Y equals mx plus c. And if we can get that, the coefficient of x, just the number in front of it, that will tell us our gradient. So let's try and rearrange this. I'll get rid of this 3x first. So 2y plus 5 equals negative 3x. Next up, I'll get rid of that plus 5. So 2y equals negative 3x minus 5. Finally, I'll divide by 2. So that way I've just got y equals negative 3x over 2 minus 5 over 2. Now, what we've been waiting for, that is our gradient. Now, if we do have your equation, just as a little aside, if you do have an equation in this form, ax plus by plus c equals 0, your gradient will equal negative a over b. So the coefficient of a, negative, divided by the coefficient of b. Let's just quickly confirm that. Here's a, the coefficient of x, and here it is. It's negative a there. And we also have the coefficient of y there, and that's what we're dividing with just down there. So if you wanted to, you can remember this formula if you're not feeling very nice with your algebraic rearranging. Otherwise, rearranging to this form also works. So now, our first equation that is going to be parallel. Now for parallel lines, we know the gradients are equal. So for our new equation, y equals mx plus c, we already know m. m is equal to negative 3 over 2. The only thing that's missing, well, what do we need? We will need, let's use a nice color here. Maybe, yeah, purple. So we know m. What else? C. We need a c. If we can get c, we can make an equation. So if we want c, that means we must know m, y, and x. Now luckily, we've got our coordinate up here. That is an x and a y value. So if we can sub in the y value, the m value, and the x value, we can calculate c. And then we'll have an equation that we can write. So y, that's just, well, I'm going to write down sub negative 2, 5, and m. You'll have to trust me, that's the word n. And m into equation. Let's do that. So 5 equals negative 3 over 2 times negative 2 plus c. And then we can rearrange to get c, our y-intercept. So let's do that. 5 equals negative 3 on 2 times negative 2. Well, we've got a negative times a negative. That's going to be positive. So that'll be 6 over 2 plus c. 6 on 2, we can simplify that. That'll be 3 plus c. And finally, subtract 3 from both sides. We will get 2 equals c. Then we can finally state our equation. Y equals negative 3 over 2 x plus 2. We just replaced our c with a 2, and we have an equation that is now parallel to our original equation, 3x plus 2y plus 5 equals 0. Now, because the question gave it to us in that form, not gradient intercept form, it would probably be a good idea to convert it back into general form or standard form. So let's do that now. The problem right now is we have a fraction, this 2. So if we multiply everything by 2, we'll get rid of the fraction. So we can do that. We'll have 2y equals negative 3x plus 2. We can rearrange this. We can add 3x and take away 2y. That will give us 3x plus 2y minus 2 equals 0. And now we have the linear equation that is parallel to the original equation and passes through negative 2, 5. Now we want to do the perpendicular. Ooh, that is a really good straight line. Well done. Perpendicular. Now perpendicular, what does that mean? That means our gradient is going to be the negative reciprocal. I'm going to call this m1, is going to be equal to the negative reciprocal of our other gradient. One way we can think about that is, first of all, our gradient will be negative, and if it's a fraction, we can flip it. We can switch the positions of the numerator and denominator. So for our original gradient, it was negative 3 on 2. So if we flip that, we'll have 2 on 3. And this was negative, but we want it to be negative again. So 2 negatives will make a positive. So gradient now is 2 on 3 for our perpendicular linear equation. So we've got our gradient, and we know our coordinates that they have to pass through. So we want to sub in m and the x and the y value. And we do the same thing again. We can calculate c. So y equals mx plus c. Let's sub everything in that we can. Y is 5, m is 2/3, x is negative 2. Let's put a little times there, plus c. We can simplify that little multiplication there. 5 equals negative 4, 2 times negative 2, over 3 plus c. Oh, this is a little bit tricky. Let's add 4/3 to both sides. So that will be 6 and 1/3 equals c. So we can write that now as y equals 2 on 3x plus 6 and 1/3. If we wanted to, that's 6 and 1/3, just as a little aside, 6 and 1/3, that would equal, let's just do a little bit of changing it into an improper fraction. 6 times 3, what's that, 18, plus 1 is 19, so it'll be 19 over 3. So I'm just going to rewrite that 6 and 1/3 as 19 over 3. Y equals 2 on 3, oops, 3, oh, no, nope. Let's make that a nice 3. 3x plus 19 on 3. Now, we want to put it back into the original form, which was general form or standard form, where it equals 0 and everything is on one side of the equation. And there are no fractions. So let's get rid of these fractions first. Luckily, they're all over 3, so we can multiply everything by 3. We will get 3y equals 2x plus 19. We can rearrange this and put everything on the same side of the equal sign. I'll just do that up here. We can have negative 2x plus 3y minus 19 equals 0. And these are our two equations that are perpendicular for this one over here, and over here, our parallel equations to our original equation that pass through negative 2, 5. Wow, thanks for joining me, and I will see you next time.